Hi, this is Christina from Hoopla.
And I'm Megan from Southern Branding. And today, this is the third part in our four-part series where we've had suppliers on. And so today, Lauren from Gemline is joining us, and we're so excited that you're here. Thank you very much for coming on. Yeah, so Lauren is our, we call outside sales rep. So she doesn't work at like the headquarters, if you will, but she has territory outside that she comes and she visits us and takes care of us. So thank you.
Thanks for having me today.
Yeah. So you want to kind of just talk a little bit about your time in the industry or how you got started with Gemline and what you do, and then we'll kind of talk about some things that we can still get in time for holidays and what you've got good inventory on, and just go into that.
Yeah, so I actually kind of just fell into this industry, didn't even know it existed until 2 years out of college through a family friend. Worked on the distributor side for 2.5 years, and then made my way over to the supplier side. And I've been on the supplier side probably about 7.5, almost 8 years, 5 years coming at the end of this month with Gemline, which is really exciting. Probably my longest job ever. So I think that says a lot.
Awesome.
And it's just been a really interesting industry. When I try to describe it to anybody else, it's a little, what do you do? But when I show them, they love it.
We always talk about that too. And we've been interviewing a lot of people here looking for an additional account manager. And so when we're talking about like what we're doing, and I always tell them, like, you're going to walk outside our doors now and you're going to notice every single logo, and all of the different items. And you're going to be like, oh, those are the people that make that kind of, because it's just stuff you don't think about, right?
Exactly. It's stuff that you love getting, but you don't realize who's giving it to you.
So one of the reasons that Christina and I really love Gemline is everything that you have is very retail inspired. It's very on trend with what's happening in the retail world. And you also carry a lot of retail brands.
That is correct. So one cool thing about Gemline that makes us different from everybody else is that we've been around for 63 years. We're a design and build company. So we have in-house designers that will shop trends around the world. So they have the coolest job out of everyone at Gemline. They get to travel the world. They go to fashion shows, different events to see what's trending and design products based upon what's trending out in retail. And we design and develop it that way. And then we've partnered with a lot of brands that have the same messaging that Gemline does and that align with us. So as things begin to trend in the eco sector and the give back sector, we try to partner with those kind of brands that offer that same messaging.
What would you say are your kind of top selling kind of retail brands or give back brands?
So our number one selling brand right now is Mirror, which I brought a little piece with me. So a lot of people don't necessarily know about Mirror. They've definitely been trending down this way. They started off in Seattle. Really cool company. The guy who started it came out of an accident, a near-death skiing accident, and wanted to create something that was giving back. So he developed this brand Mirror, which is a drinkware company. So this is just one of their pieces. They're known for like their signature slanted handle. Yeah. Developed this company where 3% of the proceeds go back to different causes and everything you can track. The causes typically range from educational based or clean water based, and everything is on their website. So you can read about, when you type in the give code, you can read about the project that the money went towards. They are also a B Corp, so they're very transparent about where the proceeds are going and where it is being spent. So it's just really nice and refreshing to see those kind of brands along with the great quality of the products. So typically, I don't even like to say this other brand's name, but it gets compared to something that rhymes with Medi. And the cool thing about this is that the price points are a little bit more budget friendly and more budget conscious. The quality is there. The quality is great. The inventory is great on this piece too.
Let me just interrupt you and I want to say a little thing about that other brand that you just mentioned. A lot of people want that brand, but honestly, their inventory levels are very unstable. very hard to get. They're not really transparent about when things will restock and not restock, and they're very pricey. And so I really always try to steer my clients away from that brand because there is no give back. You usually can't, if it's a large order, you usually cannot get what you want in the color you want. And, you know, honestly, the decoration's pretty limited as well. So I'm glad you brought that up as like the comparison.
Yeah, and it's nice because we do have the inventory. Our lead times are much better. And just like I was saying, the quality is there and the retail aspects there. Another thing to note about Mir is that they've partnered with Nordstrom, and Nordstrom is very particular with brands that they partner. They're all about the quality. They're all about the messaging. And so knowing that Mir is a trusted partner of Nordstrom is a big deal. And if you walk into their store, go to the gifting section, you'll find them over there. And in a lot of
that's awesome, and a great selling point also for us to be able to talk about. Yeah,
it's a huge selling point just because it speaks to the quality of their brand. And if you start walking into your local coffee shops and looking at their drinkware that they carry, because this Mir also started targeting, where they started was targeting coffee shops and selling their drinkware there. So I've noticed it in all these different coffee shops, which is just a really cool story to tell in itself too, that they trust their brand and the quality.
Well, one thing I also love about the Mir brand and Gemline is you guys have made it so like you've done it where you can just buy the single pieces, but you've kitted it together and done these fun, you know, s'mores kits or coffee kits. You know, there's so many different little kits you can do. What decoration methods do you guys offer with the Mir brand?
So we offer laser and spot printing. The other thing that we offer with Mir too, which is huge with drinkware, especially right now, is personalization. So you can add somebody's name, the personalized touch to it, especially if you're giving this out to a large corporation or a big company where everyone comes in with the same cups. It's nice to know which one's yours without having to like write it in permanent marker or something. You can do it with the laser personalization.
and so what is the add-on to be able to do that, Lauren?
So it's around $1, under $2 is what it's going to be.
Okay. I have my Mir sample here, and I wanted to read this. I love this that says, independently owned and operated, we choose people and planet over the demands of Wall Street. So, I mean, if that doesn't tell you about company culture, and, you know, when your company culture is important to you and where you're spending your money, like this is a great option. Love that.
It's great. And it's just great for like holiday gifting. And like you said, we could pair it with so many different things. So if you're trying to hit certain price points and gifting points, it's really great to pair maybe with a hot cocoa bomb or some chocolate or some granola bars. You can even pair it with popcorn or popcorn kit, everything all in one.
Yep. Okay. What else you got?
So another item that I love, and I know that I've sent you guys, you have the personalized size, but what I like is the sharing size for the holidays.
Oh yeah.
My daughter loves that. Yeah, my daughter like loves that.
Yes.
Yes, it is hands down one of my favorite gifting items, just because you can utilize it for so many different things, and it's great for gifting, like I said, but it's great for year round and creating like an experience gift. So giving something like this where more than one person can use is pretty valuable, or maybe it is just for one person, personalized size. W&P is also another really great retail brand that you can find at Williams-Sonoma and Nordstrom as well. So the fact that they're partnered with them too, and then you can get these pieces. We also do offer it as kits. So you can get the popcorn kernels in two different options. We have the large kernel set and then the smaller kernel set, or you can get the popcorn popper by itself. So, and the inventory on these is very deep. We have 4 colorways now. So this one is the black. We have the red, the white, and the navy. But I'm going to pull it out real quick to show, because a lot of people get kind of confused when they look at it.
Where the inventory goes.
Typically how you use it is, it's great for storage because it can pop open and down. So you pop it open so it becomes a bowl. You pour your kernels in your oil, and then you just stick it in the microwave on the popcorn setting, and there you go.
So Lauren,
it's a super simple gift.
I have a question because I love that gift. I got that gift for an event that I think it was like a year ago, and my daughter just loves it. So like, let's say someone wanted to do the kit that you just mentioned with the popcorn popper and the popcorn kernels, but they also wanted to add a blanket from Gemline into it. So how does that work? Is there kitting fees? Do you have like a box that you can put them in? Can you do a custom card? Drop ships? Like, how is all that working?
Yeah, so we can definitely do that. So we have different size boxes depending on what we're getting. So if everything's coming from our factory and you're choosing all Gemline products, there's no charge for us to fulfill it all. It's when you try to send us outside the assortment pieces that we have to charge to account for it. But we do have packaging available in different size boxes. So depending on what you're going to order, maybe you're just doing this and a coffee mug and a hot cocoa bomb, or you're doing this and you're pairing it with a blanket, then you might need the extra large box. And we do have different card styles available too. So we could do a small card, we could do a fold card, and it just depends on what you're looking for. And we do drop ships. So drop ships, we can drop ship to any location within the United States and Canada. And with that, there's fees that range anywhere from, depending on what you're looking for, $6 to $8. So with that, just keep that in mind.
So we've talked about, and we'll reiterate again, like the difference between drop ship fees and shipping fees, because it does tend to confuse maybe end users or clients that aren't in the world every day. So, drop shipping fees it's the fee to individually box, package, assemble,
Address.
address. It's the charge for the box, because it's not all going in one big box, they're all going in individual boxes. So it's all of the different fees that make that more expensive to do, because it costs more. It costs us more to be able to do that individually versus if you're shipping it all in bulk. So that's why we break that out when we talk about quotes and shipping, that sort of thing.
And let me speak to that too, Megan, because when, like, let's say an end user or client, when you think to yourself as a client, oh, I'm going to get 100 of this item, and this item, let's say 3 items, 100 different items. How much time would it take you as the client to then put each of those items into a singular box, create the shipping label, drop it off at the, just all the steps it would take.
Add the box, assemble the box, then
make sure it's packed safely. There's a lot of steps. So I think that a lot of times gets lost in translation too, is, well, why does it cost $5 or $6 per box? If you think about the time and the materials that it would take you on your own to do it. I had a client once that ended up wanting to do it on their own to save money. And then after that experience, they never wanted to do it. They were like, I will always either have me fulfill it or do drop shipping from the vendor.
Time is important. So that's a huge factor for sure.
It is important. And when you are doing fulfillment, you do have to keep in mind, it does have lead time. So when you are planning for this, so let's say you have a firm enhanced date, do account at least 3 to 5 additional days for fulfillment, because on top of the production time, depending on the quantities ordered. Just because, like you're saying, it does the added labor to it.
So let's talk about production time. I was actually just going to ask you that. Are you guys, what is your current production time? Do you foresee that changing in the next few weeks as things ramp up even more so?
Yes, I do see production changing. Current production time, we could still do rush services, which is a 48-hour turn time for a rush charge. And with that charge, we're just guaranteeing 48 hours, not 24 hours anymore. And that's for like a one color. You have to waive your proof. You have to waive, that's for one color laser print. No heat transfers available in that. So it depends on the product and the item. And then production time outside of that for other products can range anywhere from 7 to 10 business days right now. We're running closer to like the 8 to 9 business days, really, realistically, is what I'm seeing. So I could just see that as time goes on, we're going into 10 to 12 business days. One thing that we also have that a lot of other suppliers don't have right now is we're running 3 shifts. So we're fully staffed on 3 shifts. So we're running 24 hours a day, getting the stuff out. Where we run into some snags here and there is some shipping. So good thing we opened up 6 shipping stations this year. Last year we only had 1. So it's nice that we have 6. So it is going at a timelier manner. It's just sometimes you just run into like where they just begin to pile up, even if you have 6, like the production's done, but it's just sitting in shipping because we still have to do the labeling and making sure that it's the split shipments right and everything like that. So you do have to account for that because I could just see that as the time and the orders pick up, slowing it down. So typically I would say you're safe with 8 to 9 business days right now. With the proof's taking about 2 to 3 business days. We're trying to get those turned a little bit faster, but typically the amount that we have, the amount of employees that we have in art is more than usual, but we have some new employees that are being trained just because we needed to staff, but some of them aren't 100% trained yet. So with that, there comes some little snags, but other than that, the production time isn't crazy for us yet.
So for our clients, like really what that means is by the time you give us an order, assuming everything goes well with your art and your art is ready to go and it gets proofed easily, we get an approval on your proof quickly, that's really 3 weeks before the order is being shipped. So that's really 4 weeks until from the time that you give us the order to it's getting delivered. And that is with you guys, which is that 7 to 9 business days is awesome compared to what we're hearing a lot with some other suppliers that are, running 15, 20 plus business days. So right now, 4 weeks is your best case scenario.
Well, and then let's also talk about Lauren. Also, you were saying it's 4 weeks, and that's saying a 5-day ground ship.
Yeah.
So Lauren, before we hopped on and I made her stop so she can start all over on the shipping. So do you want to talk about that, the shipping that you started talking about? And then I said, let's just hit record.
Yes. So typically with us suppliers, last year they did this to us. FedEx capped us because our preferred supplier is UPS. So if we're shipping out UPS, we can ship out as many packages of UPS as we want. FedEx capped us and only sent 1 truck a day and kind of limited us to a certain weight amount. So some orders were completed, but they wouldn't ship out for 3 days after they were done because they were shipping FedEx. And I noticed some shipping delays with FedEx already. So FedEx has announced this. They've been very transparent with us and their suppliers, and they've announced it to the media. They're hiring a bunch of people, but when hiring those new people, there's training involved. So they don't have enough people staffed that have the tenure to ship it out and deliver in time. So I've seen shipping delays with them taking up to 7 to 8 days versus they're usually pretty quick to get down to Arkansas or Texas or this area. It's usually 3 business days in the past from our factory in Massachusetts. But again, it's running a little bit longer. Same with UPS. UPS, I haven't seen quite as many delays, but I've seen a couple delays here and there, adding like an extra day. So instead of taking 4 days, they've been taking 5. And they say that they're very transparent too. So you have to keep that in mind. If you do have a firm in hand state, when is it going to be done in production? Okay. And how many shipping days did you cushion a day or 2 in case it does?
Well, that's also, this is early in the year. I mean, by the time we get to Thanksgiving-ish time, I mean, it's going to be, who knows how long it'll be for shipping.
And there's just like, as you've seen, the freight trucking, they're just behind in the staffing, in the demand.
Which we can all relate to, right? Because that is the word. So yeah.
Exactly. So we'll just see that coming in the coming days. The only way, if you do have a firm in hand date, which if you're willing to pay next day air or second day air,
next day air though,
will guarantee.
Next day air though, I mean, can be thousands upon thousands of dollars.
So it's the last resort.
Yeah.
So that's why you want to get planning early or just prepare. Maybe this won't be a holiday gift. Maybe we look at New Year's gifts or, we rename it.
Well, I love that you said that because I also, I was having a conversation with my husband and I get really worked up when my orders don't meet in hands dates. And he's always like, it's life. We're in a pandemic. Is it life or death? Like, people are still getting something, they can message it. He's like, I don't think it should be so just end of the world if something, and so I love that you said, it doesn't have to be a Christmas gift. It can be a welcome to the new year gift. Like, let's get creative, because it isn't life or death. And I think people understand that, we have to give grace. And I think people are just happy to get something and be recognized. And it doesn't have to be, I still think you should, if you want Christmas, try for it, but like, be open-minded to,
Yeah.
what the alternatives are.
With the flexibility there is a big deal, because sometimes, and what I'm also saying too, be flexible and then order what you see in stock, not what's set to arrive. Because this is going back to the delays, is we have a lot of products that with Corksicle and some of our brands that were set to arrive this week, they're already delayed because of the freight issues. And so I recommend, if you do have a firm in hands date, ordering what we have now or what is available today. And if you don't have a firm in hands date and you kind of want to be flexible, like you're set on your gift, yes, think about, okay, I'm not going to get this for holiday. Let's rethink this. How can we word this and make sure?
So even beyond holiday, obviously Q4 is really holiday heavy. But moving into first quarter, we're event driven, right? So all of these events that are gearing up for first quarter of 2022, I mean, what are you hearing inventory related with availability? And, we've gotten so much feedback that, we keep saying it's going to get worse. Well, it's still going to get worse. And, quarter one's going to be even worse. So what are you hearing? How is Gemline positioned with inventory coming in?
So we positioned ourselves, we actually bought a ton of inventory to last us into at least June of 2022. So we come it's supposed to be the middle of this month, which it already is. Come really beginning of November, we'll have the most inventory we've ever had at Gemline.
Oh, great.
Ever. So it's historic numbers there. So we've prepared in that sense, but again, like, we're seeing people order in higher volumes, just so they have stuff for their event. So all of that, a lot of it's planning on our part, and then planning on hopefully our distributors' clients' part. So making sure that, okay, I know I have this event in February. You usually don't plan for that event until probably beginning of January. No, you should probably think about, maybe I'll plan now so I can get what I want.
Yeah.
So if you see something that you like, go for it now to avoid any additional delays and just have it delivered. Yes, it might just sit there, but that's okay. You have the product that you want. Though we did plan ahead and have all this inventory coming in, the inventory is getting delayed, but it will be here for 2022, which is good news. It's just not going to be here as soon as we want. Then you have to factor in Chinese New Year.
Yeah.
So delays already on top of it. And then you have Chinese New Year, and then you have the rolling blackouts that are, I say it's rolling blackouts in China, but they are government controlled blackouts in China. So a lot of factories have been affected by this. Though they prepaid and a lot of the orders are done, they can't get the orders out because there's a blackout, or obviously with the ships and the container issues too on top of that. So with that prepping, we have the most inventory that I've seen. I was just looking at our inventory spreadsheet. It's just moving faster than I've ever seen it too on top of that.
Wow. So it's moving quickly as well.
Yeah. The fastest I've ever seen inventory move, which is just shocking, because I'll go look at something, I see that it's available, somebody will place the order 2 days later and it's already taken. I've never, ever seen
Lauren,
it like this.
Let's also talk about, because you mentioned this before we started the call, and I think it's a great thing or call out and a thing to educate our clients about, is I forgot the verbiage you used, that you guys don't hold stock until the order is completely in with correct art, in hand state, and approved art, right? Approved proof. So we could put our order in, and if someone else puts their order in and they approve their artwork before or have a complete order and we're missing a detail or something, then we could get notified that you're now out of stock, which has happened to me a handful of times. So, I mean, you have to be ready to pull that trigger and really have everything buttoned up.
So it's hard allocation. A lot of suppliers don't announce that they don't do this, but most of us don't, just because of how our systems are set up.
That's a great point. It's a great question for us to be aware of and asking, because I think the assumption is that, okay, we've got the order and the inventory is held, but that always needs to be clarified, you know, whether you're talking about that with hard allocation or not. I mean, it's a great point.
So that's just what the tough thing is. So like if you have an enhanced date far out, that's why I'm saying like once you see the inventories there, make sure all your stuff is buttoned up on your end and just get it out. It's better instead of holding it and saying, okay, I don't need it till 10:15 or not 10:15, but 11:15, but the orders can be done sooner, get it sooner. It's okay if it just sits somewhere. I get that we're going back to places where there's events and we can produce it and hold the shipment for a little bit, but it's just better to have it in hand, because I've seen it where recently an order went out. We shipped it where it would have delivered on time. FedEx had a shipping delay.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's that.
Well, and to the point, you know, aside from art, we're also talking about addresses. So if this is a situation where we're drop shipping and we have a spreadsheet of addresses and you have the order in, but we don't have the addresses yet, that's still, that inventory is not being held until you have all the information for the order. So yeah, we need to be very clear about that when communicating.
And then the other thing I think that I have happened a lot to me, and I don't know, maybe I need to be more forceful with my messaging to my clients, is a lot of times I will, you know, give them a presentation, they'll select a handful of items and I'll say, you know, okay, let me check stock on everything, request virtuals, production timeline, blah, 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 blah. And then I'll say, but stock changes hourly. So we need to make decisions quickly. And then a week will pass and I'll check in with them and I'll say, how are we doing? Oh yeah, we're going to make a decision in a couple of days. Then they'll come to me probably 7 to 10 days after I've done all the original, you know, checking of everything. And then they're like, I'm ready to place the order. I go to place the order. I check stock one more time, out of stock. We're back to square one. And we've lost 2 weeks of time because they didn't give me an answer right away. And it sucks, because then we're back to square one and we've lost a whole 2 weeks, when Megan said 4 weeks is kind of the current fast production time.
Yeah, that's true. It's true. And it's just something that we continue to see. And I don't see it really changing into 2022, getting much better until 2023 to realistically, until we can figure it all out. But it's the first time we've ever had to be like, nope, you have to make your decision really within 24 to 48 hours in order to secure the inventory.
Yeah. I've started saying like, okay, when you're ready to place the order, I will check inventory for you, because otherwise it really is like, I can tell you now, but it's not going to mean anything.
And a lot of places, we used to hold inventory for longer. We're capping it at 24 hours now. So we can hold stock for somebody in somebody's order for 24 hours. So that's why we say you got to make the decision quickly. So once you know, okay, this is most likely what we're going to go with, this fits in our budget, go ahead and get it moving. So the order, we can get the proof and everything ready. You know, there is time to change your mind if you do cancel the proof, but then you have to start from square one again. So at least make sure, like y'all are saying, get it in sooner than later. But I was going to talk about one thing that's pretty good on inventory is Gourmet Expressions, which is our Gourmet Expressions line. So our food line, one of the things Gemline did to revamp itself, because last year we had some really cool brands, but they weren't necessarily close to Gemline. We partnered with brands much closer to our factory, and it makes us easier to get fresher products. So you don't have to, the shelf life isn't sitting there for 2 months, and that already feeds into the product shelf life. We want the inventory to be fresh and ready to go. So most of our food products, it's convenient because it's fresher. and we can replenish those at a faster pace than before. So
I love
it's
that,
great to
the
show
kitting
those.
with that. You also started, you did this year, like the hand soaps and all of that
Yes.
thing with that. I love that. And the roomy bags are my favorite, but these are great. And then J&M Foods, which is all the little cookies and the cheese straws, not
Mhm.
here in Little Rock where we are.
Oh yeah. So with those, I know that they have some production houses pretty close to
Yes.
our facility. So it's
Yeah.
fast to get their products, and it's really good products too.
They're good.
So that makes it really convenient. So when you're thinking about that too, and then if you're thinking about retail brands for gifting, we added Cuisinart, which
Mhm.
Cuisinart is not far from Gemline either. So if they have inventory available that they haven't allocated to retail, that's inventory that we can get at a faster pace than some of our other brands like Corksicle. Right now, to get some of their inventory that's set aside for retail, if we can pull from them, is taking
A long
like
time.
4 weeks.
Yeah.
Wow.
So you're already missing holidays. So that's why you want to order with Corksicle what we have available now.
Okay, tell me about that though. Do you still have good inventory on this?
So that inventory is not set to come in until December, but that particular piece I'm obsessed with, which would be great for like starting off the year, Kit, working from, because a lot of companies are making decisions coming into January. So talking about the mobile office kits, working from home, the hybrid scenario. I think we'll see a lot more companies after the holidays kind of make those decisions on what they're going to do with employees or allow them to do for their work environment.
Yeah, we've seen lots of revamping with new hire kits and work from home kits, and people are restructuring all of that. So I just want to say though, on this guy, when it does come in, this has been awesome. I've started using
What is that? Is it a lap pad?
It's like a lap
Oh,
pad.
I need one.
But it's got your computer, and then
Yeah.
so you can have your phone here, and then this is for your, and this is leather.
I literally just told Josh and my kids that I wanted something like that for Christmas. So when I do work from home, or if I have to do a little work on the weekends, I can do it in bed.
That's what I've started doing. Like I just go through, because usually we all work with multiple screens just because there's so much going, right? But when I'm going through and I'm doing invoicing, like when I have time, like the tedious tasks that we have to do that are part of the business, I'll just do that on like my one screen on my computer, and I can do it in bed, and I can be lazy. So this is nice.
Another it's item, so convenient.
Gemline also carries, which I really love, and I give it out for a self promo. And I just love your whole line of little plants, like grow kits.
Oh, the modern sprout. I have one with me. These kits are so much fun.
Yes.
So
I love those.
That one looks great. I don't have that one. That's beautiful.
This one is the lavender kit, but we do sell them separately. So we have the mason jars and the little potted plants.
Yeah.
This is more of like the higher, when you're looking more for like a $50 price point gift, this is the perfect one.
I love it.
Yeah, they're super cool. I'm actually growing mint in my kitchen right now.
I give out the champagne poppies and the terracotta.
Oh, those are so cute.
They're so cute. But I love that kit you just showed. How's the inventory on that?
So the one that we have the most inventory in is the sunflower kit. Okay. So the lavender kit, I showed this one because that's the one that I have a sample of. But that one, we only have about 300 units left. That one went really fast. That was super popular for the holidays. But the sunflower kit, which is super cute too, has really good stock, and that one's still available.
I love it.
Nice. Okay. Well, I think we've done it.
I do have a question. So I've been slacking for the last few weeks on doing my personal question at the end of our show, but I have one for today. What is your favorite like holiday meal food? What do you look forward to the most for Thanksgiving, like dinner?
For Thanksgiving?
For Thanksgiving.
Oh, Lauren, you first.
So I love probably green bean casserole, and then there's this cranberry sauce dip. It's like cranberries, jalapenos that you eat with Fritos, and it is so good. So it's probably those two.
Nice. Okay. When I was little, like Thanksgiving was an all day kind of event. So
Mhm.
there was appetizers and then there was the dinner. And I always liked all the different dips and the meatballs and all that kind of stuff is what I looked forward to. I was never big like on the sweet part. Like I'll have a piece of pecan pie, but that's kind of it. But I love the green bean casserole and the mashed potato and like homemade macaroni and cheese and sweet potato casserole, like all that kind of stuff.
Ooh,
It's all
yeah.
Megan, of course, broke the rules and picked like 5 different things, but that's
Yeah.
fine.
Sorry.
I think, I'm the same way. I usually, when I make a Thanksgiving dinner, I like to do it like at lunchtime so that we can kind of like have a big meal, but then we can just nosh all day on little things if we want to. And I'm kind of basic, I guess. I really like just stuffing / dressing. I don't know what you want to call it, but like I just like I like a good like homemade dressing.
Is that one of those things where it's different whether you're in the north or the south?
I think so. And so I don't really
Yeah.
know. Like my husband is from Fort Worth, Texas. I was born in Houston, but moved to San Francisco as a teenager. So I kind of use a lot of things interchangeably, but he'll always correct me and let me know like any soda can be called a Coke. Like get it together. Like he has a lot of sayings that he'll be like, that's not how you say it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. And then there's the different types of gravy. Like I didn't even know about giblet gravy until I married my husband. And I was like, it's gravy basically with eggs, which
Oh,
Yeah.
is like, I had no idea about giblet gravy. I was like, what is that?
Yeah. That's how you do. That's Thanksgiving gravy. Yeah.
Oh.
with eggs.
Yeah,
I
like
didn't know
hard-boiled
that.
eggs.
Diced up. Yeah. Hard boiled eggs.
Oh,
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
like the texture.
interesting. I'm gonna have to Google that. Okay, well, thank you, Lauren, for being our guest.
Thank
Next
you
week
guys.
we
I
will have-
appreciate it.
You were great, and I absolutely can't say enough good stuff about Gemline and the quality of items that you guys carry.
For sure.
And thank you, and I hope everyone has a happy holiday. Even though we'll be back next week with a new supplier, but
Well, thanks, guys. I'll talk to y'all later.
Thanks, Lauren.